Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So here we are within our session number 174 for Quranic Arabic Grammar. And while learning Surah Taha, we started learning Al-Qasam, and we have covered most of it. And inshallah, we are going to start with quick review and we'll finish Al-Qasam today. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm going to start with a quick recap and review with my sisters here in Quranic Arabic Grammar, inshallah. So who remembers the Adwatul Qasam that are haruf? Adwatul Qasam that are haruf include haruf jar, wow, barakallahu feek, ba, and there is one more, ta. Among wow, ba, ta, which of the haruf jar has qasam mentioned with it? There is permissibility to mention fi'lul qasam with it. Barakallahu feek, let me check and make sure. So when it comes to ahraful qasam or haruful qasam, these are just the different names, the broken plurals used for plural of harf, ahraf or haruful qasam, both will be right. Among those, it is permissible to mention fi'lul qasam with ba. However, it is not permissible to mention fi'lul qasam with al-waw and atta. So the only one with which we are going to see fi'lul qasam mentioned, which is usually in Quran, uqsimu, is going to be ba. For example, I keep on giving this example again and again, which is, la uqsimu bihadhal balad. Allah took an oath on the city of Makkah, and here the qasam is mentioned, and along with haruf jar ba. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also uses la uqsimu biyawmil qiyamah, right? So whenever ba is there, it is permissible to mention fi'lul qasam along with it. For the rest, you don't have qasam mentioned. It is not permissible to mention fi'lul qasam. I hope this was clear to each and every one of you. When it comes to arkanul qasam, we have gone over that your arkanul qasam, or your the components of a qasam, one way to classify it is that you put your adatul qasam in one column, then you put your muqsim bihi, al-muqsim bihi, and then there is jawabul qasam, and we have been doing that, and we have been going over it time and again since we started learning this topic. When it comes to adatul qasam means tools of qasam. This can be a harf, and the harf you already told me include ba, watta, walwaw. When it comes to fi'lul qasam, your fi'lul qasam can be uqsimu, and it can also be ahlifu. In Quran, which one do you see? The first one or the second one? Uqsimu or ahlifu? Mainly you see the first one. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. Yes, you are awake. I'm very glad to see that. Okay. When it comes to the isms that can be used as adatul qasam, in Quran we find amr, right? La amruka, right? I gave you an example, and the first one, amr, was the one that has been used. However, there are three tools that can be used as adatul qasam. It can be yameen, it can be aymanu as well. When it comes to muqsim bihi, the object of oath, if Allah is taking an oath, can it be any object when Allah takes an oath? Does Allah take an oath only upon himself, or he takes an oath by prophet only? What do you think? When it comes to any, barakallahu feek, object of an oath can be any when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is said, according to majority scholars, whichever object Allah takes an oath by, it is been given ta'zeem. It has been made grand. Okay? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath by teen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give an izza to an object. So, and Allah is the only one who can take an oath by any object, but when it comes to human beings, they can only take an oath by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? When it comes to Jawabul Qasam, you can have two types of sentences, and you can see them on my screen as well. It can be Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Fi'liya both. Remember? We have been going over this, right? It can be Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Fi'liya. Yes. And it can be mahzoof too. Barakallahu feek. Yes, sometimes you may see it mahzoof too. And this is very important when you start learning things in detail and when you go back and forth and you review your lessons. Honestly, this is something only then you are going to remember that, sometimes maybe my Jawabul Qasam is going to be mahzoof. Sometimes there is something also, sometimes do you think qasam is always mawjood, or can it also be sometimes mahzoof? There is no trace of qasam, but there is a jawabul qasam that you see and you figure out that now this is going to be only jawabul qasam. So barakallahu feek, yes, both jawabul qasam and your jumlatul qasam can be omitted sometimes. Okay, either you will find only Jawabul Qasam in cases. For example, in Surah Taha, we found examples where there was no Jumlatul Qasam. We only found Jawabul Qasam, like Laqad Mananna, right? So, in some cases, we have also found that your Jawabul Qasam can be omitted. Alhamdulillah, it seems like it was clear to you all. If it is, type 1. Okay, so when it comes to this one, we have already opened it up. And so Jumlatul Qasam itself can be Jumlatul Fi'liya and can also be Jumlatul Ismiya. Now, this is because there is only going to be one example, or very, very rarely you are going to see Jumlatul Ismiya as Jumlatul Qasam. So I will like you to make sure that you have this example in your own notes as well. We have not yet shared these notes because the topic has not been completely covered. So, but I would expect each and every one of you to have this example of Suratul Hijr, verse number 72, where you have Jumlatul Ismiya as your Jumlatul Qasam. And here, you mostly in 99.9% of cases, you will have your mubtada and the khabar is going to be mahzoof. And anyone remembers what will be the khabar in this case? لأمرك قسمي. Surely by your life is my qasam. Indeed, إنهم لفي سكرتهم يعمهون. Make sense? Remember, we covered it in our last session that in case of Jumlatul Ismiya, mostly your khabar is going to be mahzoof. There is another case as well, but for now, I would like you to remember this so far, okay? Then, when it comes to your Jumlatul Fi'liya, again, your fi'l can be mentioned. Uqsimu is going to be mentioned. And sometimes, with watteen, with waw, it's not going to be mentioned. In case of Anwa'ul Qasam, when Qasam is not at all mentioned, you call that Qasam as Al-Qasm Al-Mudmir. But when the Qasam, Adwatul Qasam are mentioned, Jumlatul Qasam is mentioned, or Adwatul Qasam, any Adwatul Qasam is mentioned, you call it Al-Qasam Al-Zahir. Is this clear? Al-Zahir and Al-Mudmir? Type 1 if it is. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So this is something that you have covered already. Again, your components of an oath include Jumlatul Qasam, which can be Fi'liya and Ismiya, Al-Muqsim, the entity that takes an oath, Al-Muqsim Bihi, the object by which an oath is taken, Harf Jar, which comes with your objective oath, and it's going to be labeled as muta'alliq bil fi'l mazkur or mahzoof. If the fi'l is mentioned, it is called mazkur. If fi'l is omitted, it is called mahzoof. When it comes to Jawabul Qasam, it can also be labeled as muqsam alayhi, and it is always la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. It has no i'rab, no places in i'rab. Okay, so this is all covered. When it comes to Jawab, if your Jawab is a negative sentence, will you see any adwatu tawqeed that are mentioned with qasam? Barakallahu fi, you won't find them. And your adwatu tawqeed, I have made a separate slide for quick reference for all of you, include lamul qasam, qad, lamul qasam, qad, nunu tawqeed, inna, and lamul tawqeed with it. Is this clear? Your adwatul qasam that are going to be present in your jawabul qasam will include lamul qasam, which is lamul waqia li jawabul qasam, and then comes your qad, then which is going to be the case when your jawab is starting with fi'l madin, that is mutasarrif. Then there is going to be nunu tawqeed and lamul qasam if your jawabul qasam is jumla fi'liya mudari. If your jawab is jumla ismiya, it's going to be inna and lamul tawqeed. Is this clear to all of you? I hope it should be, because we have been covering it in our last sessions. So that will be easy. So jawabul qasam is jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya, jumla musbata, jumla manfiya. In case of manfiya, you don't need any adwatu tawqeed. Inna, lamul qasam, or qad, or inna plus lam is not going to be there if sentence is a negative sentence, which is your jawabul qasam. If your jawabul qasam is negative, you don't need it, okay? So then we started learning about al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. Al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. What are the adwat it attaches itself to? Where you will see this lam attached to. It is very important. It is paving a way for your qasam, barakallahu fi, yes. But what are the adwat that are going to have lam attached to it? They are going to be adwatu shart. They are going to be adwatu shart, barakallahu fiq, and mostly you see them, you see a lam al-muwattiyatul qasam with in, but it can be seen with man, it can be seen with man shartiya, it can be seen with ma. Very well done. And this is, small something, but so la in, lama, laman. If you remember these 3 points, inshallah, I assure you, you will be ahead of your game. If you have already learned them, or if you are learning it for the first time, this review, inshallah, will make sure that you are ahead of your game, inshallah. Because, as I said, it's not going to be very commonly taught, because I don't know why. So the lam is going to be considered when you see a lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. What should come to your mind? That this lam is giving you a meaning. Wallahi, wallahi in ukhriju la yakhrujuna ma'ahum. Surely, if they go out, they are made to go out. La yakhrujuna ma'ahum. They will not exit with them. So does it make sense? لَإِن قُوتِلُوا لَا يَنْصُرُونَهُمْ. So why there is no nun mushaddada in these cases? Why there is no nun mushaddada? As I asked this question in our last session too. Why there is no adwatu tawqeed in yakhrujuna, yansuruna? Can anyone tell? No, it's not about distance. In qasam, it's not about distance. No. You have negative jawab. When your jawabul qasam is manfiya, when your jawabul qasam is negative sentence, you don't need your adwatu tawqeed. So that is the reason. When your jawabul qasam was positive sentence, like la yuwallunna, it's a positive sentence, you are seeing lam. Why not lam here? Because your answer should be there is la nafiya, Make sense? Right? There's la nafiya, and in negative sentences, in negative jawabul qasam, we are not going to need your adwatu tawqeed. Okay? In case when your answer was a positive sentence, and anyone is given this part of the verse, for example, la in ittaba'tum shu'ayban innakum idhal khasirun. So if you just forget about lam, and if your sentence begins with in ittaba'tum shu'ayban innakum la idhal khasirun, what was this sentence missing? If there was no context, and I give you a word starting from in, what will be the confusion in your mind? What will come to your mind? That there, what is there that must be there but is not there? There was a foul rabita, barakallahu feek. I want you to think together. I want you to think about them together. When you have lam, now what is happening? Lam is your, lam is for qasam, right? Lam is for qasam and in is for shart. Now there is what? There is ijtima'ul qasam wa shart. Do you think it is the case? How many of you think that now there is ijtima'ul qasam wa shart? Barakallahu feek. There is a case of that. But what is happening here, which helps you determine that there is something that is missing here? Now my jawab cannot be jawabu shart. It is jawabul qasam. You just wrote it. There is no faw rabita. There is no faw rabita. Therefore, I'm going to call it jawabul qasam. Anyways, because my lam was in the beginning. Your lam was before your shart. Is this the case? Lam was before the shart. So you are only going to now call the jawab, this jawab as jawabul qasam. And what will happen to your jawabul shart? What did we say that, and it's now written on my slide as well. It is omitted. It is mahzoof. Number one, it is omitted. And number two is you are going to say jawabul shart mahzoof dalla alayhi jawabul qasam, which means jawabul shart is omitted. However, jawabul qasam is guiding me to the possible jawabul shart, which can be innakum izalla khasirun. If you follow Shoaib, indeed you in that case will be from the losers. Surely will be loser. Does it make sense? That if somebody asks you, where is your jawabul shart? You are simply, first of all, you're going to simply say it is omitted. There is only jawabul qasam that is there. So, and if somebody asked you, how can you figure out what could have been the possible jawabul shart? What could be the possibility for jawabul shart? What will you say? You are going to say that, jawabul qasam is leading me to the jawabul shart, right? My jawabul qasam is leading me to the jawabul shart. I hope this is clear. If it is, type 1. If you want me to repeat, I can repeat too. Okay, so now this is clear to all of you. So if there is, when it comes to, you are going to in shartiya ittabatum felu shart, right? Fi mahalli jasmin shuayban mafulun bihi. Now comes innakum izalla khasirun, right? You are doing all this. So lam al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil-qasam in shartiya ittabatum fi'lu shart fi mahalli jazmin shuayban maf'ulun bihi innakum idhan la khasirun jawabul qasam. The question comes, where is my jawabu shart? You are going to say jawabul qasam, jawabu shart, is mahzoof. Jawabu shart in this case is mahzoof, and my jawabul qasam is helping me figure out that possible jawabu shart is going to be innakum izal la khasirun. If anyone asks you, how do you know jawabu shart is omitted? You can simply say that there was a faw rabita that is going to be there when my jawabu shart is jumla ismiya, and that has been omitted. That is not there. So therefore, I know for sure that this innakum idhal la khasirun is my jawabul qasam. Clear? Amin wa yaki. So all these cases, la in azakna al insana minna rahmatan summa naza'na minhum innahu la yusur kafur. Are you seeing any fa? You are not seeing any fa. And this is again jawabul qasam. Inna idhal la khasirun jawabul qasam. Inna li indahu lal husna jawabul qasam. No fa rabita there. Okay. Again, the same is going to be the case in all the rest of the examples. And in the rest of the examples are mainly now, you're going to see from here, لَإِن سَأَلْتُم مَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. Surely they will say, now there is from this verse, you're seeing Jawabul Qasam is Jumlatul Fi'liya mudare musbata, and it has lam attached to it, and it has nunu tawkid attached to it because it was musbata. Everyone can see that. And now again you are going to see that you say that la in sa'altahum is going to be my jumlatu shartiya. Sa'altahum is my jumlatu shartiya, fi'lu shart, but jawabu shart is mahzuf, and my jawabul qasam is guiding me towards a jawabu shart. What is happening here? There is an example that I have for you all, and I think this is the point where I should present to you this example. Now look at this verse from Quran, Surah Ash-Shura, verse number 41. Can all of you see my screen? What is different now? I have it written on my slide because I have to share my notes with you guys. So, but what are you seeing? Don't read the text, just focus on the verse. وَلَمَنٍ انتصر بعد ظلمه فأولئك ما عليهم من سبيل. What are we seeing here? Are we seeing a lam? Oh, yes. Okay, barakallahu feek. Okay, we are seeing a fa despite the lam, right? So now there is a problem. What is happening here? Is this going to be called Jawabul Qasam or Jawabu Shart? Now what is going to be the answer from all of you? Now is it Jawabu Shart? Do you all agree? Because it is Muqtarin bil Fa. Yes or no? Right? You can all comfortably say that now because there was Fa or Rabita. So I'm going to call this my Jawabu Shart. Again, Jumla is Jumlatul Ismiya. The Jawab is Jumlatul Ismiya, and it does not matter. I'm just telling you, and it is Muqtarin bil Fa. So now I'm going to say that this is going to be Jawabu Shart. It is, yeah, you can consider it as an exception, and that is going to be one way how you are going to label this verse. Another way is you are going to say ulaika ma alayhim min sabil is my jawabu shart, and this lam here is not la al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. It is simply lamul ibtida. It is simply my lamul ibtida. Who remembers what is lamul ibtida? The very simple lam that we have learned, we have been learning in our sessions. Anyone remembers what is lamul ibtida? When you listen to the name, lamul ibtida, it attaches itself to what of the sentence? When it is, it is simple lamu tawkid. It is your simple, very simple lamu tawkid. I think I have something here for you guys. If I'm not mistaken, or I can pull this for you, pull that up for you here. One second, give me just a second and I can show you here. My dear sisters, were you not able to hear me? Can you hear me now? Now you can hear me when I was showing you the other lam. Oh, sorry, I by mistake, when I was moving around, I muted myself. I'm so sorry. So I was telling you here that any lam that attaches itself to the mubtada of the sentence will be called lamul ibtida. It's a simple plain lam. It is a fancy name that is given to lamu tawqid. When lamu tawqid attaches itself to mubtada of the sentence, it is called lamul ibtida. Is this clear to each and every one of you? So, and this is going to be, and every lam is getting a different name. Anytime, when you are seeing lam, al-lamul muwattiyatu lil qasam, it attaches itself to adwatu shart. But this lamul ibtida attaches itself to the mubtada of the sentence. It's also lamu tawqid, okay? Here, there is a possibility that you are going to call this lam, this very lam that is attached to man, which is shartiya, as lamul ibtida when there is a fa attached to the jawab. What will happen in that case? Will you consider anything related to qasam here? You think you will consider that this lam has to do with qasam in that case when you call this lam as lamul ibtida? What do you think? In that case, you are just going to say that, lam is, lamul ibtida that attached to the mubtada of the sentence because man shartiya, manin tasara. Man is followed by fail lazim. And if I ask you, what is the status of the man? What is the role of the man? What is the i'rab for this man? What is the i'rab for this man? Who remembers? We have learned how to differently label man shartiya. Man shartiya can be mubtada, and mostly it is mubtada when it is followed by fail lazim, right? When it is followed by fail lazim, it is going to be mubtada. Is this something that we have covered? We have, right? That there are different i'rab. It can be maf'ulun bihi muqaddam as well, and it can be either mubtada or maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Here it is mubtada, so we can just simply call this lam as lamul ibtida that has attached to the mubtada of the sentence, and this mubtada is adwatu shart, jazima, and so we can just say man shartiya, and then this is jumlatu shart, and there are two ways to do this. You can call this man as mubtada, and then the entire thing, the entire jumlatu shart and jawabu shart becomes its khabar. Remember, we have done that when we were learning the shart, that the whole thing can be the khabar for the whole thing, the whole jumlatu shart, pelu shart, along with jawabu shart can be the khabar for man shartiya, that is mubtada in this case. Because the fail in this case is not majzoom, it is fi mahalli jazmin because it is past tense. Intasara is past tense, right? Intasara yantasiru, right? Is everyone with me? It is past tense, so it's going to be fi mahalli jazmin. How many of you are still confused about this point? And are not still thinking that, and if there was, something else that you think about this verse from Surah Shura, you can bring it to me. You can most certainly ask any questions if you have about this verse. Is this clear to all of you? That this one is now going to be, since you have fa rabita here, you can call this as jawabu shart, and you are just simply going to consider la as lamul ibtida, and you are going to call, and man shartiya mostly is labeled as mubtada, and then it can also be maf'ul bihi too, but here it is mubtada because I know it has been followed by fi'l that is lazim. And I'm not labeling it as alam al muwattiyatu lil qasam. So sister Rab, I want to hear from sister Rabiha Sherwani. What do you think, sister? Does it make sense? Now that we are calling this lam as lamul ibtida, and then we are just saying that this is in my simply shart and jawabu shart. This has nothing to do with qasam, right? So yeah, so there are going to be exceptions that you may come across in Quran, and how to reconcile that we must know what is the right way to go through things. And if you know the drill, the whole drill that we have been doing, that there has not been any fa with Jawabul Qasam, and now we do find a fa with Jawabul Qasam, that was Jumla Ismiya. I have to stop. I have to think that is it really my Jumla is it really Qasam wa Jawabul Qasam, versus it is just simply Shart wa Jawabul Shart. Okay, so this is a little bit about Lam al Muwattiyatul Qasam, and I have already gone over this slide, which I think is very important for all of you to learn, that there are cases when you are going to find your Lam has been omitted, and what will help you identify that Lam has been omitted in this case. So now that you have just freshened up upon your fa and Jumlatul Ismiya and Lam, a relationship between these three entities, now think about it. If now I'm giving you wa in ata'tumuhum innakum lam mushrikun, why do I say here that there is a Lam al-Muttiyatu lil Qasam that has been omitted from this in? There is no fa. Very well done, Sakina. I'm glad to see that you are awake and you are actively participating. Very well done. Similarly, when I see here, illam taqfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna min al-khasirin, what helps me identify that possibly there was lam here? And this dua, I'm sure most of you must be making every day of your day, every day, right? So this is something among those rabbanas that part of our daily supplications, right? Among it's not my morning or evening askar, but for those of you who read rabbanas every day, this dua, right, most of you must recite. And when you go through this dua now, you will see that why is there lanakunanna there? There is lamu tawkid, lam lil jawabul qasam, and then there is nunu tawkid, but in here is missing something, right? Don't you think there was a lam that was present before this in that is missing? This should make you think about that, this in is missing, al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. Okay, so is this clear to all of you? That when you are seeing a jawab that has lam lil jawabul qasam or lamul waqiya along with nunu tawkid, what is happening to in? You must think of this like there was a hazaf of lam al muwattiyatu lil qasam. Again, the same thing is happening here. Lanansurannakum should make you think that this in is missing its lam al muwattiyatu lil qasam. Okay, everyone with me so far? Yes, lam is mahzoof, and this particular lam, al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam, that is paving a way for qasam. That is why you are seeing a jawabul qasam here. The reason you are seeing jawabul qasam here, the reason you are seeing jawabul qasam here is that there was a lam that has been omitted. And what helps you determine that is the way your jawab is, the way your jawab has been worded is making you think that there was a lam before all these three ins that has been missing. Okay, so now when it comes to ijtima'ul qasam wa shart, which is what we have been learning when we start learning about al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam, it is basically ijtima, the combination of qasam and shart. Now you have both qasam and shart together. So the rule is, if the sentence begins with the condition, and that condition particle is in, ma, or man. If your sentence is beginning with advatu shart in, ma, or man, your jawab is going to be, your answering clause will be for the condition. What are we seeing here? In yuwahid. This is yuwahid, and this kasra is for iltaqai sakinain, right? This mudare is majzoom bi in, shartiya. So, and then you see wallahi. You are seeing in, you are seeing wallahi. So both shart are there and qasam is there. All of you agree that you are seeing both shart and qasam? When you see your jawab, what are you seeing in jawab? Is your jawab majzoom, or is it with nunu sakila, It is majzoom. It is behaving. Is it behaving like jawab to your qasam, or is it behaving as a jawab to your shart? Does it look like jawabu shart or jawabul qasam? That is the question. It is looking like jawabul qasam, sorry, jawabul shart, because it is majzoom. How do I know it is jawabu shart? Because it is majzoom. And why is it so? Why is it so? Because my sentence began with in ma man. It is beginning with adwatu shart. Whichever is going to be first, jawab will conform to it. Is it making sense? Whichever comes first. If in was first, it's going to conform to in. Is this clear so far? You're not going to see that much in Quran. Mainly you are going to see examples of al-lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam, but I want you to know about this because down the road you must have the complete knowledge of whatever topic you have been taught in this course. Okay, so if your sentence is beginning with adwatu shart, and those adwatu shart that are in ma man, particularly these three, remember, in ma man, in ma man, only these three. If it is beginning with that, your jawab will conform to shart, and it's going to be like, it is going to be just like the jawab for these adwatu shart. It is not going to behave like jawabul qasam. When it comes to the sentence which is beginning with an oath, wallahi, man yukhlis amlahu lillahi لَيَنَالَنَّ جَزَاءَهُ. So this is, جَزَاءَهُ should be not with tanween. It is جَزَاءَهُ. It is should be with one fatha. So what happened here? Is your jawab to qasam or is it to your shart? What do you think? It is jawabul qasam. Why so? What is the simple answer for this? Because your sentence is beginning with oath, your jawab is going to be conforming itself to an oath. It's not going to be, it's not mudare majzoom, it is mudare that is with nunu sakila, with lamul waqiya li jawabu qasam. Why so? Because your oath was in the beginning. Clear? Because now the order has changed. You are seeing man shartiya, but the order has changed. If man shartiya was in the beginning, what would happen to the to jawab? It will be jawabu shart. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. Now, if it is the case, now I think I should go over this first. Now, if your sentence is introduced by adwatu shart, law or lawla, now what is going to happen? Despite, it can be in the beginning, it can be in the middle, it is only going to conform itself to lawla or law. Okay, it is not going to be, the answering clause will correspond to the condition only. Okay, it will correspond to condition. Despite its, whichever comes first does not matter. This is the only case. That is why I told you adwatu shart in ma man. Now there are other adwatu shart which include law and lawla. If there is law and lawla that is present along with qasam, what will be your jawab like? What will be your jawab be? It is going to be jawabu shart. No matter whether wallahi was first or lawla was second, it is only going to be your jawabu shart. Is this clear to all of you? And you can see here, but here lawla is beginning the sentence, but it invariably it has to conform itself to lawla. There is one more thing that I would want you to know. If your sentence begins with a noun and does not have anything, if it is beginning with any noun, any mubtada, or inna wa ismuha, and then comes your shart or condition, in that case, your jawab can be both jawabu shart. There is a possibility your answering can be for both oath and condition. That is the only case when your sentence is beginning with a regular mubtada or inna wa ismuha. Like in this case, what are you seeing? Al-mu'minu, what are you going to label al-mu'minu? This is beginning of your jumla ismiya. So al-mu'minu is going to be your mubtada. Very well done. Very well done. And then comes wallahi, which is your qasam. Then comes in wa'ada. In wa'ada. In is your shart. Here, jawab can be jawabu shart. If he makes promise, wafa, he fulfills it. And it is also possible that the answer is la lafiyanna, and which is going to be the case of jawabul qasam. There is both possibilities present. There is a possibility for both. Okay. You don't see it in Quran, so don't get overwhelmed with this ton of information. You are basically going to be seeing lam al muwattiyatu lil qasam in Quran. But this is just, so that, we have the complete understanding of the topic where we see qasam and shart together. So yes, both answers will be right. Yes, both answers are possible. Yeah. You are going to say that there is a possibility for wafa, which will be jawabu shart, and la yawafiyanna is also going to be the correct answer. Okay. And for practice, if I show you this one, la in afauta an akhika laqad wasalta rahimaka. What are we seeing here? What kind of a word is beginning my sentence? What is the name for this lam? Lam al-muwattiyatu lil qasam. Barakallahu feek. And you are seeing your jawab laqad wasalta rahimaka. So here again you are seeing jawabul qasam, the way it is the positive sentence. You are seeing lam and qad because your fi'l madin was mutasarrif, right? When it comes to innal mar'a, wallahi law kana fazzan ghalizan لانفض الناس من حوله. So here, what happened? Innal mar'a is your beginning sentence, and then you see qasam. Then you saw law. You saw wallahi and law together. So when you have law and wallahi and your shart and qasam together, but your sentence is beginning with inna, lanfadda is possibility, right? It can be for both, right? It can be, jawab can be for both. Why for both? Because your beginning was with harf nasb wa ismuha. If your beginning of the sentences with mubtada or harf nasb wa ismuha and qasam and shart are together, your jawab can be for both of them. Okay, for both, there is a possibility. So now this is a lot of information, but you just need to be familiar with this. The main point what I would like you to remember is, from this session, what is the main point of this session? If you see both shart and qasam together, your answer will be to what? Simple answer. I need a simple answer. For both, I want your answer to be that it is going to be whatever comes first. The answering clause will be to that. Okay. The right answer is, if qasam is first, my answering clause will be for qasam. If shart is at the beginning, the answering clause is going to be for the shart. Okay. There is one case if your sentence has law or lawla, in that case only shart is going to work, oath is not going to work, qasam is not going to work. Okay. Then when you don't have any shart or qasam in the beginning, when you have neither shart nor qasam in the beginning, but you have your mubtada or you have inna wa ismuha. In that case, the answer will be for both. That is the case when answer will be for the both. If ism, very well done. If ism is in the beginning, answer can be for both of them. Okay, both. It is for both. Otherwise, what is going to work? Whichever comes first, it is going to work. It is going to take over. Whichever comes first, it's going to take over. Except for law or lawla when jawab is only for shart. Okay, but if you see ism in the beginning, which can be mubtada or harf nasab wa ismuha with harf nasab with its ism, in that case, both are going to be possibility. Only one possibility is when you have in ma man. If in ma man is in the beginning, jawab is for shart. If wallahi is in the beginning, jawab is going to be for qasam. If lawla and oath is together, jawab is only jawabu shart. Okay, and I'm going to give you a table for this. I'm going to put it in the simple table so everyone can memorize, and it's easy for all of you. So before we end our session, I have few examples here. وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Anything that you're seeing here, that we are recently been covering, what do you see here? وَرَبِّكَ, wow is your wow. Al-Qasmiya, Rabbi is your muqsim bihi, right? Al-muqsim by your Rabb. La yu'minuna. Why is there no failul qasam mentioned here? What is the reason? Wow is the adwatul qasam, and it is not permissible to use failul qasam with wow al-qasmiya, right? It is not jais. You can say it like that. So then the next example, وَرَبِّنَا قَالَ فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ. By our Rabb, he said, then you taste the punishment. Do you see any jawab? Wow is your qasmiya, Rabbi is your muqsim bihi, jawabul qasam is mahzoof. We can consider it mahzoof. The next example, وَرَبِّي إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُعْجِزِينَ. وَرَبِّي, by my Rabb, indeed it surely is the truth. What are you seeing? What kind of a jawabul qasam is there? The first one. It is jumla tu musbata, right? Jumla ismiya musbata, and you are seeing inna along with lam. Okay? And then waw is atf, and ma antum mujizin is matuf ala innahu lahaq. What is going to be the status of these sentences? Innahu lahaq. What is the status of the sentence innahu lahaq? It is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, because your jawabul qasam is going to be always la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَسْأَلَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. What are we seeing here? Waw qasmiya with muqsim bihi rabbik, and then comes your jawabul qasam, and your jawabul qasam has fail mudare, and you are seeing this fail mudare with lamul waqiya fi jawabul qasam along with nunus thaqila, right? Lam and noon, because it was a positive sentence. How will you label ajma'ina here? What is, and we have covered this topic recently as well. Ajma'ina. Tawqid, Rabiha. Is this how you pronounce your name, Rabiha? Because I may be calling you Rabia all in the last few sessions, because Barakallahu feek. It is Tawqid. It is one of your tawabi, and it is going to be, what's the status of ajma'ina? It's going to be nasb status. Very well done, Rabia. Very good job. It is mansoob or nasb status, because whom is it emphasizing whom here? All of you agree that it is emphasizing whom here? And one more thing, among the tawqid, You have learned two types of tawqeed. Tawqeed lafzi, tawqeed ma'navi. What was this type? Ajma'ina falls under lafzi or ma'navi. It is ma'navi because it is not mere repetition. There is another word that we brought to use as emphasis, to emphasize our word. Your mu'akkad, the word that has been emphasized, what was the condition for that? It must be in terms of type. What should be your word that is to be emphasized? What should be the type of your word? Should it be common or proper? Marifa, very well done. It should be proper. It should be proper. And whom is proper? Everyone remembers it. Once upon a time, when we were in our baby sessions of Quranic Arabic Grammar, we learned that our all our pronouns pointers are proper, right? Very well done. Barakallahu fi. So see how it is matching in status. The status is matching. The status must match for any follower, and it is matching here. Tawabi' must match in status. Next thing is your muakkad must be proper in this case. In for this type tawqeed manavi, your muakkad must be proper. When it comes to tawqeed manavi, we usually have pronouns attached to tawqeed manavi, but ajma'ina is an exception, right? All the words ajma'una, ajma'ina are the exceptions where we don't have to have pronouns attached. Okay, they come without pronoun. So it is a quick review for your tawqeed as well, because we recently covered that topic. For Rabbik, again, the same thing. I don't think we should go over it. And you are seeing atf here, and then everything is following that. Let's see few more examples. No, this one we have covered. Sina Farabba. Okay, this was all covered. Alhamdulillah. So the last one is Tallahi laqad alimtum. Why is laqad here? Who can give me the reason for laqad here? One answer is going to suffice everything. Tallahi is setting a oath. It's positive sentence. What else is there? Every positive sentence in case of Jawab al-Qasam will have laqad, or there has to be very well done, a very complete answer. Past tense with fail that was mutasarrif. It is a surfable fail. Alimtum has alima ya'lamu, right? Ilman, and you have alima, you have ya'lamu in Quran. So it is something that is mutasarrif. Therefore, you are seeing laqad. Very well done. Tallahi tafta'u taskuru Yusufa. Here, you are not seeing anything. You are not seeing anything in terms of tawqeed. But you know why? Anyone can answer this, but I have not covered this. Let me skip it for today. I'm going to, we already have gone over a lot of, difficult concepts. I'm going to leave this one for later. Yes, Barakallahu fikum, Sakina. You know the answer, but I'm still for the rest of the students to keep it simple and easy. And so everyone can be with me. I will go on to the next one. Okay. Qalu tallahi laqad atharakallahu. So here again, laqad is used because it is a positive sentence, and the same thing as tallahi laqad alimtum. Similarly, tallahi innaka lafi dalalikal qadim. Here, what kind of a jawabul qasam we are seeing? We are seeing jawabul qasam, which is jumla ismiya musbata, and we are seeing inna with lam again here. Inna with lam here. Tallahi latus'alunna amma kuntum taftarun. Tallahi is setting your oath, and your jawabul qasam is having lam with nunu sakila because it is jumla pelia mudare musbata, right? Therefore, you are seeing lam and nunu sakila both here. If lam was distanced from tas'alunna, if there was a distance between lam and tas'alunna, for example, there was sofa, la sofa, what will happen to Barakallahu feek, there will be no nunu sakila attached to my fi'l mudare in that case. Very well done. Again, tallahi laqad arsalna, because fi'l was mutasarrif. La akidanna, because my jumla jawabul qasam is fi'l mudare musbat. Tallahi in kunna lafi dalalin mubin. What is here? In kunna lafi dalalin mubin. What is this in? Anyone? It is shart? Very well done. Rabiha, you are on roll today. You are alhamdulillah, very well done. Bye. So this is in mukhaffafa, my dear sisters. In mukhaffafa. Why so? My dear sisters, you have lamul faraka. In with this is now lamul faraka. And what was the clue? You know, this is Jawabul Qasam, my dear sisters. So you have to think about it, that there's going to be Jawabul Qasam will be with some tools of emphasis. And I know this is a tricky one. This was a tricky one. It is not easy to, just quickly find it out that this is in Mukhaffafa, but there are clues. There are clues there that should help you determine that. Let me tell you. Your clue is, kunna is fail naqis. And in mukhaffafa is usually seen with fail afalun naqisa. Okay? And after in, you are seeing a lam. In and lam. In and lam should make you think. In and lam. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. Rabia, so focus, and I'm going to post another video on this lamat. We have covered those alamat, but I just want to make sure that you have a quick source available to yourself where you can, whenever you are forgetting things, because grammar is very volatile. You learn things and you can easily forget them too if you don't practice enough. So this one I was going to post, but I did not want to burden you with a lot of information. But for your library, for your complete library, I wanted to make sure that you have easy accessibility to all the videos and notes and everything. So I was going to share with you this one, and Waul lam. So how to figure out what kind of lam is there. So in kuntum min qablihim lamina dhalin. So this in is going to be considered a mukhaffafa because it is followed by this lamul faraka, and so is this lam, which is lamul faraka, and this in is a lightened version of inna. Okay, so this is lightened version of inna, and again, this is your jawabul qasam. Easy. I know it's going to be a little, heavy information, but let's look at another one. Tallahi, in kitta la turdini. Is it the same? Tallahi is your jumla, you're going to consider your mutalik bil failul qasam mahzuf. And in kitta, what kind of in is this going to be? Kitta is also naqis. Remember, kada, yakadu, from there is this is also going to be naqis. So what is the name for this in? Who can tell me? Very well done, Dilruba. And this lam, what is the name for the lam then? If this is mukhaffafa, then what is the name for this lam? It is going to be lamul fariqa, lamul fariqa. Don't forget lamul fariqa. Okay, so these, you can see the heavy version of inna in jawabul qasam, and now you are going to be able to see lightened form of inna as well in your jawabul qasam. Is this clear? Alhamdulillah. So this was the end of our qasam, and inshallah we are going to go back to our Surah Taha in our next session on Wednesday. But what I would expect from all of you is, make sure if you don't understand something, you go back to your recordings and you listen to them, because these recordings will be either then made private, or if you, because there's no point in posting them if you are not benefiting from them. Okay, and I know you all are, because you are, if you are actively participating in class, it's, and in it of itself is, it tells me your passion to, and your dedication towards learning. Okay, so but I would definitely, I don't know what to say, but I really want you to benefit from all the work. and I'm not doing anything, but still, whatever little I'm doing, I want you to benefit from each and everything that is there posted for you in your Google Docs, in your Google Drive. So I think inshallah, with that I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters.